holding off the AI God in order to preserve and protect the realms of eternity. And that is the reason why we're still here, thanks to that order. Now, a secondary aspect of this order of light is also known as the Amethyst order. Some of you might even heard of that. The Amethyst order is also very instrumental in the terraformation, the administration of the different realms within the, I guess what they call the harmonic universe number 2 and 1. Are you guys familiar with the 5 harmonic universes or not yet? Not yet. Okay, with the raise of hands here, who's seen my 4 shows on Unified TV? So I can know exactly where to direct this. You saw all 4? Not all 4? Okay, you saw maybe 1 or 2? Okay, so there's a lot of information in those 4 episodes. So if you guys haven't had a chance to watch them, I would recommend them. Please do. Has anybody here read my book? Okay, you have? Okay, so some of these terminologies that I'm using are probably you've never even heard of. Like, what is a harmonic universe? Am I right? Okay. So let me begin by explaining that there are 5 harmonic universes that make up the 15-dimensional time matrix. So the realms of eternity are equated to the 5th, or what we call the 5th harmonic universe. Those are the realms that have never had a beginning or an end. In other words, they are eternity. That, I guess, in terms of science and physics, they would be equivalent to the 13th dimension, 14th, and the 15th dimension. And then from the 5th harmonic universe, through a process known as descent or involution, which is the descent of high spirit into matter, we also have the harmonic universe number 4, which is an emanation of the always existing realm. So before you could say our harmonic universe, which is number 1, there was harmonic universe number 4 that came into being. And that was also equivalent to the realms of the ethers. Still yet no physicality. Everything's being conducted on the etheric level of reality. In esoteric traditions, that is known as the mental plane of reality, or the realms of the mind, where the mind, the all is the mind. Everything is a projection of the mind. So that's harmonic universe number 4. And that consists of dimensions 10, 11, and 12. 10, 11, and 12. And we could also say that from the 12th dimension, the original race, the etheric race, the original immortal race, in which all human-like beings were made in the image of, came from. And that race was known as the central race, or the Azurites. Have you guys ever heard of the Azurites? Some of you guys have. Okay, so the Azurites was the original immortal etheric race in which all human or galactic human-like beings come from. And that's why when we are made in the image of the One, we are made in the image of the original race, which is the Azurites. Now, in terms of celestial administrations, they are the ones who are the functionaries of the Order of Gold, of the Emerald Order of Gold. Underneath that, you have the Emerald Order of the Amethyst, and then you also have the Emerald Order of the Ruby Order as well. So, from harmonic universe number 4, as the involution continued, right, the descent of spirit into matter, into further density, right, we had the 3rd harmonic universe, which came into existence afterwards. And that gave us the Gaia Earth, which exists in dimensions, I believe, 8, 9, and 10. And in terms of galactic and cosmic history, that was the 2nd phase of this intergalactic war against AI that took place. That was known as the wars of the electrical wars, in other words. The first war was known as the wars of the Elohim, which were about protecting and sealing the gates of infinity and eternity from this AI God wanted access to. And then the 2nd phase of the war happened in harmonic universe number 3, guys, and that became known as the electrical wars. And then finally, harmonic universe number 2 came into being, and that's when we come into the picture, our original ancestors, the original physical prototype, double diamond sun DNA template came into being. And that's when the original 12-strand DNA came into existence in Lyra. And that happened in harmonic universe number 2, which is a level of reality that occupies dimensions 4, 5, and 6. So just to give you a brief explanation of the different harmonic systems. So just how there are different versions of ourselves that exist in other dimensions, there are also different versions of the Earth that exist in higher dimensions. And then, of course, due to the infiltration of the dark entities, those that are related with the NWA, the NAA, the negative alien agenda, we were taken from harmonic universe number 2 as a 12-strand DNA immortal race, physical immortal race, and that we were further downgraded into Homo sapiens to the point where they just left us, our level of intelligence just a little bit above the primates. And a lot of that is directly tied into the functionaries and operations of Enki, by the way, whom many are promoting to be the good guy, but it's really the other way around. So that's why I'm warning people about this Enki character, this Anunnaki. He is not our father. That's what I guess what the false light in the New Age community is trying to promote. This alien God Savior. When in actuality we are the ones that are supposed to become that godlike figure, that Savior. We are the ones that everyone's expecting. It's not. This second coming event is not an external event. In other words, it's not an event that is going to take place outside of ourselves. It is an event that is going to take place within ourselves, and it's already happening as many of us are doing the spiritual work. We are understanding that we are it, that we are the Christ, that God exists within and without, and it's all around us. So the more people have attained those levels, or those, levels of consciousness, the faster we're going to activate the Christ mind for the rest of the population, because there is this thing called the 100 monkey syndrome effect, or the Maharishi effect, where once you get enough people reaching that level of love, of unconditional compassion, forgiveness, seeing God in everything and everyone and every living thing, then that's when we're automatically going to catapult that level of intelligence or that level of awareness to the rest of the planet. Because by virtue of this mind hive, I guess we're all connected through a mind hive. Every species connected to its own species through a mind hive. Nothing to do with AI. It's an organic mind hive. By virtue of that, we're going to cause the rest of the planet to also shift into the Christ consciousness mentality, and that is what's going to actually initiate, what many call the Age of Enlightenment, the Age of Aquarius, the Age of the Golden Age, a new heaven on earth, the Age of Love, harmony, balance, where there is no more corruption, no more manipulation, and humans actually finally get to, live in harmony, and also are finally able to reach their full divine potential in the Age of Love and Aquarius. So, all right. All right, let's open it up for questions and answers.
You actually posted on Instagram that on 11/11 portals that started to open. You said on. Can you tell us what this status now?
Yes, because we are ending the Age of Pisces officially. Pisces ends, I believe, spring of 2023. The portals are beginning to open. So I guess this is where I begin to explain that the dimensions or the other harmonic universes are not locations. They're not places out there. They're all coexisting within the same space at the same time, just on different dimensions. So what I meant to say about the 11/11 portal was that as a collective, due to the mass awakening that is taking place, we are already in the fourth dimension, which is the dimension where everything comes to light. So that's why I believe the disclosure is right around the corner, guys. Right around the corner. So for those that are dealing with ailments, diseases, terminal illnesses, if you could just hold off a little bit more, the methods are going to be getting ready to roll out. We just have to be a little bit more patient. But yeah, the 11/11 portal definitely opened the collective mind of humanity into the fourth dimension, where now humans are ready to understand, other dimensions, parallel universes, and much more.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am?
What do you think of Milena Dana? She seems to be promoting, being very excited about comeback of Enki.
Elena did not? Okay, well, I've already kind of opened a can of worms by on the internet, right? I didn't realize that everybody was going to be talking about this. And this was just because somebody asked me a question about her. Well, what do you think about Elena Denon? Well, I think she was compromised. I think that 2 years ago she was actually an instrument of light, but I do believe that she was taken over through her implant. She does confess that she has an implant. She, made that public. And I believe that she was taken over by Enki, because that's the person who she is promoting. And she's manipulating Michael Sala, even, what's his name, Alex Collier. I mean, she's got a whole team of, and what they're really promoting, guys, is this fake alien, agenda, false light. They're expecting some sort of sky god, which is no other than what religion has been promoting. See, the true meaning of the second coming is really the awakening of the Christ mind within millions of us, and it's already happening. We are the second coming, guys. It's not an event that's going to take place externally. So going back to Elena Denon, I totally think she's being used by the dark side, by the false
I
side.
kind of figured that myself.
You felt that, huh? Yeah, a lot of mediums and psychics, and those who are able to Tap Into Energy have all said the same thing. They noticed the difference that took place within her about a year ago. I think a little over a year ago, they noticed the shift in her. There was just something odd, something strange about her. And so I was the first one to just, express my opinion on that. And I didn't realize that it was going to create some sort of a warfare between the disclosure community. You have people that are Camp Elena and people that are Camp. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was just, giving my opinion on things. But lo and behold, a lot of people have validated the fact that she is promoting Enki. Yeah.
What happens if the solar flash happens and it's like nighttime? That's it.
Well, most people think it's going to be some sort of, I don't know how to say it, an event, like that's going to be physical. It's more so of an internal event. It's something that's going to take place within us, where all of a sudden our consciousness and our perception is going to shift. And then that's the meaning of the veil being lifted. And that's when you start seeing things for what they really are. You're going to start seeing other dimensionals that have always been coexisted, side by side. They're all around us, guys. We just, we don't see them. The cosmic intergalactic communities are not out there in space. They're sharing the same space at the same time. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I have a few questions at the same time. First of all, can you explain a little bit for more people about the AI war, not only here and other planets?
Absolutely.
And also about the white hats. Who are they in general? Do they call them white hats? And this is just gossip. Maybe Diana and John and Kennedy, if you could confirm who they are like.
Okay, so to answer your first question, the AI war. Okay, so that's an issue that many universes are dealing with, and they have been dealing with for billions of years. For those that are following my work, I'm sure you know now that the AI originated in a prior universe, right, in the 11th creation. And then from that 11th creation, you can see we're part of the 12th creation. It was able to kind of jump over or leak into our universe. And then within the 12 creations, we have other many universes as well. But this is a war that's been going on for billions of years. And we see it connected to the events that are unfolding actually on planet Earth. With 5G, with the Internet of Things, with this whole transhumanist agenda, that's all part of the AI takeover. And this is how this ancient alien AI has managed to infiltrate and take over many, many worlds and galaxies. Through infiltration, that's how they invade. They are so advanced that they no longer confront planets. It's not an external invasion. They do it from within. And then once they take over the body, then they are, they take over the human host, and then they convert those biological specimens into cyborgs. And an example of that is the Greys, the Zetas, the Greys. They used to be human-like. Millions of years ago, the Greys came from Lyra as well. And they were seduced by AI, and many of them followed the transhumanist agenda. And now they're traveling back into time to what? To abduct people, to extract genetics in order to what? To save their dying race because of what they did millions of years ago. So yeah, the AI conflict is a multi-universal scenario where many universes are just being plagued by it. So many people in the community or intergalactic community call it the cosmic virus. That's what they call it, because it has literally destroyed hundreds of thousands of galaxies, guys, in many of the local universes. And just within the outskirts of our local universes, unfortunately, many galaxies have fallen prey to this, AI. There is a name for the AI collective that has been doing this. They're called the Animals. And for those that want more concrete evidence of this Animals, all you have to do is study the West Penra papers and the confessions made by Dr. Japanson Neruda, who defected from the ACIO, which is the Advanced Contact of Intelligent Organization. And of course, 2 years later, he disappeared. And to answer your second question, who are the White Hats? Okay, so the White Hats are the benevolent secret societies, because just like the Cabal, the White Hats also have to operate in secret. Right now, it's a coalition of over 132 countries that have signed the new Commonwealth of Nations that is supposed to become the opposite of the NWO or the New World Order. And Russia is leading the way, by the way. Putin is a huge key player within the alliance. Yeah. So that's what the alliance is. They've been around forever, guys. It's just that we are now seeing them, their activities are more prevalent now. Whereas before, they were just, kind of like working from behind the scenes. So the Kennedys were a part of that. Lincoln was a part of that. all those other presidents who had to fight the implementation of the central banking system. Andrew Jackson, who was actually, he was almost taken out. I think they tried to assassinate him. He was part of the White Hats. Going back to the foundation of our country, we see the two factions of the cabal and the White Hats through the conflict between Jefferson and Hamilton. Hamilton wanted more of a centralized form of government, right? And Jefferson wanted more of a, give the power to the people type. So we see this conflict technically going back, we could trace it all the way back to Atlantis. I mean, the battle between good and evil has been going on for millennia. But now we're in a position where, due to the ending of the Age of Pisces, it is time for evil to be eliminated and for good to step in and bring forth what we call in the esoteric community the seventh golden age, because there's been 6 other factors, the one that we're now in. So that's the good news, that we're now living in a time where we're going to be able to witness that transition between the dark age and the golden age. Which is awesome. Oh, third question. Diana is, okay, so another thing to understand about the White Hats is that there is a bloodline association that has a lot to do with the descendants of King David, King Solomon, and of course Jesus and Mary Magdalene. That is known as the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is real, and many believe that John F. Kennedy, Princess Diana, and including the Trumps are all intergenetically related by virtue of coming from the same genealogy tree. So just like the Cabal has a bloodline association, right? They come from they're Franco-reptilian human hybrids. So do the White Hats. So, yeah, there we go.
So they're both alive.
They're both alive, and yes, they are alive. That's right. Yes. Who was next? I think she was next. Okay.
Bloodlines. You're talking bloodlines. RH negative bloodline. Where's that fall into that?
That's an off-world bloodline. That could. There is no trace. You can't trace the origins from the indigenous of this planet, from the Earth terrans. So basically, the RH negative people are those that were fortunate enough to not be, who come from a lineage that wasn't diluted, that wasn't corrupted by the primitive monkey protein, which comes from Homo erectus. And that's what Yankee did in order to downgrade us, guys, when we used to live for thousands and thousands of years, 200,000 years ago, during the times of Atlantis.
So where did they come from? Which star?
They come from everywhere in the galaxy, mainly from Sirius, Lyra, the Pleiades, Arcturus, Andromeda. Anything that has to do with off-world lineage is Rh negative. In other words, they don't have primitive genes, so they're completely stargate. Yeah, celestials rather. And it also is related directly to the what they call the galactic royal blood of Michael, the Archangel. Yeah, which goes back to the original race. Remember I was talking about the Ozirites and how they created the Lyrids? So that's where the kingdom of Michael, the original establishment of the house of David, originated before it came to Earth.
And Lyra ended up in Hawaii?
Lyra? I'm sorry?
The story of Lyra, that some of those descendants land up on Hawaii, the big island of Hawaii?
Yes. Remnants of the destruction of Lemuria. Well, no, most of them went into the inner Earth because the Earth is hollow; it's not flat.
Right.
So there's many caverns in inner Earth cities that are still that are occupied by the descendants of Lemurians. And to answer your question, yes, Hawaii is like a small little piece of land that's left from the actual sea.
A lot buried underneath.
A lot buried, yeah. I mean, if you take a submarine deep into the oceans of Hawaii, you're actually going to find evidence of Lemuria deep in the ocean.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You were next?
Yeah, okay, so in regards to the JFK Jr. and Diana, is her life, does it have something to do with the bed beds that brought them back, or was it just like a fake death?
It was a fake death.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, the second question about the bed beds. So this is off-world technology that we've had for years and was implemented and used in the space program, right?
Absolutely.
And so it just seems like in order for that technology to come and actually be available to all, that there has to be a complete elimination of what we know today.
Absolutely, yeah.
How is that, like, how much time away is it within the next year, 2 years? Is the old system going to completely go away first, or is that going to be the transition that makes it end? How's that all going to happen?
Well, the old paradigm is collapsing as I speak, and it's been collapsing. But due to the transition of ages, we're going to see a sudden changeover from dark to light. But I predict it no later than 2024. So I'm going to stick to my original vision. Yeah, which is right around the corner.
And would it have to do with the solar flare bringing in the change?
Absolutely, because that's what restarts the next era or the next epoch on planet Earth.
And at that point, the people will be living in
Absolutely, yeah. Because there's going to be a shift, a transition of realities into the Terra Earth, where heaven is already there, fourth, fifth dimension, and sixth dimension.
Well, bring it. Let's do it.
And we are, guys. We're doing it collectively. You know, each and every single one of you is part of the disclosure. You guys are all part of the white hats. You don't have to be military to be a white hat, guys. The fact that you guys are nonconformists, rebelling against the system, bringing information to others to help waken them up, means that you guys are all part of the forces of light. You know. We had one more over there, and then you're next. Wait, hold on. We're way back there. Okay, so next, and then you'll be third.
So the map that a few of the truthers are putting out there with the ice wall, and then it shows lands beyond, and it's like extraterritorial instead of extraterrestrial. Is that kind of real? That part, and we are in the firmament? Are those the other realms?
Okay, so
are those the other realms?
No, it's the inner Earth. Yeah, there is no outside. It's not a flat Earth. That is part of the CIA psyops in order to debunk the secret space programs.
Okay, I think I'm right to say that. So,
Yeah.
so what does it really look like to you? Like
What, in the other side of
the
Antarctica?
Earth, the Earth.
Oh, it's a round sphere. It's just like we have torsion fields, right? Like our Merkaba,
Okay,
right? So does the Earth. Everything in existence is as above, so below. Is really a torsion field. So it's a sphere. It's a
Okay,
sphere.
gotcha. So my brother is a NASA engineer, and he does the aerospace research, not the aeronautics research. And he's been a part of a group, and don't tell him I'm telling this. Anyway, he's part of a group, and he's in the airplane, and they remove one of the windows so they can photograph Norway shooting off a rocket into Iceland, and it looks like the rocket just hits, and it looks like Northern Lights plasma, and that's what they're filming. And then they just went to the Big Island in Hawaii to do another experiment thing with
Those
this
are-
airplane to
yeah.
photograph what they're doing. And then Hillary said we broke the ceiling once, and somebody said that's the Milky Way now because it was a fight. So I'm just curious, like we are in this firmament of plasma around us, and
No, we're not. There's
no firmament like the Bible says.
Well, again, remember the Bible was modified by the powers that be. Well, now the powers that were. Their time is up.
Our atmosphere. What is our atmosphere then?
Our atmosphere is, it's made out of different layers. And you can say we do have a protective layer that protects us from the harmful radiation of the sun. But it is not solid. We can go right through it. And with enough speed, we can send, we send satellites out there. How do you think satellites are operating in space? If there was a wall, there'd be no satellites.
So what's the cracked ceiling story from Hillary?
It's all part of the, psyops. It's all part of their negative narrative,
That's
rather.
something she made the leaders.
And they're using, what's his name? I forget his name. Bonashi or something like that. They're using I forget his name. To really promote the letter. Santos. Santos one of the Shia. I can't pronounce his last name. So that's all psyops. There is, if you guys really knew what was out there beyond our Earth, we have colonies, stations in and around, Jupiter, Mars, all around the asteroid belts. We have huge stations, guys. The entire solar system it's already decked out. It's already the infrastructure, the interplanetary infrastructure. It's already in place.
Yes, I have two questions. We speak about medbeds, but have you any insight on Jared Rand's celestial chambers? And he is saying that he's working with beings from the 38th dimension, the silver galaxy, and that the celestial chambers are actually going to be forwarding with advanced technologies, which are even beyond the medbed technology.
Yes, there is a level of healing modality that is beyond the med beds called the celestial chambers. There's also another modality called holographic regenerators. They can grow any link in matter of atoms through hologram technology. But the celestial chambers are actually chambers that are considered, they heat faster than any med bed. You're right, they're called cosmic celestial chambers. They do have those in the programs, and I do believe that once we have disclosure, that's going to be part of the, thank you. That's going to be one of the many technologies that are going to come into the planet.
And my second question has to do with the wind makers.
The wind makers.
Yes, the wind makers. Can you shed some light on that?
Sure, the wind makers are actually the central rays of the always existing universe, the central universe. They come from eternity. Remember I was talking about the eternal rays? Yeah, they've traveled in time in order to prevent the AI takeover of our planet. So what they did is they posited 7 different, what they called time capsules. And these time capsules have a lot to do with stargates, by the way. When they open, that's when we are going to go from a carbon-based genetic 2-strand to a crystalline-based 12-strand DNA. Yeah, so the Windmakers are good. They have been you can say at the highest level of reality, they are the race that have been holding off and fighting the AI god in its minions. So, in a sense, they are us in the future, and they're also us in the past, and we're like in the center. You know? And then we had, there she is.
Hi, so I'm just curious, have you always been channeling this since you were a child, or was there an event? I don't know how you started.
Well, I suppressed it. As a child, I was very in tune with the spirit, with the animals, with other people. Telepathy I thought it was a normal thing down here, and then I was told it wasn't. I was crazy and dumb for it. So I was kind of like compelled to suppress that for like many years because of my religious upbringing. But then I discovered Kriya Kundalini Yoga, and when I started implementing that practice, all of a sudden, like my inner understanding of things, I call it inner knowing, right? Because it's an inner thing. Just started flushing, my visions and downloads and transmissions, and I'm thinking, where is this coming from? Am I going crazy? And then that's when I found out that I was a celestial starseed in human form, and that I was one of millions of souls that have decided to incarnate in the earth. And that's how it all began with me. So I guess I always had the gifts, but I did suppress it for many years, and then finally I started to embrace it at the age of 20.
Thank you. And then Antarctica, could you tell us anything about that?
Antarctica, many believe it was a surviving chunk of Atlantis, because a lot of the technology and a lot of the things that are being unearthed in Antarctica has a lot to do with the crystal technology that was used during the times of Atlantis. I'm sorry. And they've also uncovered and discovered many bones from giants, anywhere from like 15 feet to like 36 to 48 feet. 48 feet is as tall as a building. I mean, that's huge. So there's a lot of evidence coming from Antarctica. And right now, from what I understand, is that the Alliance is now in control of Antarctica. Unfortunately, for 60-something years, Antarctica was under the control of the Dark Fleets and the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, which was controlled by the Falcon. But just recently, within the last 2-3 years, there was a huge transferring of I guess, power in Antarctica from the Cabal to the Alliance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right?
Can you elaborate a little bit about 3 times 20?
20 of that? Sure. Okay, so part of the Super Soldier program was to employ you for 20 years and back, and I think they do it only up to 3 times. As far as I know, I don't know why they do it up to 3 times. I don't know if that's some sort of a ritualistic, symbolical way of doing things, but from what I understand and from listening to others who serve in the programs, I've never heard of a 40 or a 20-year and back 4 times or 5. I think it's always 3. But they have a lot to do with doing off-world activity. So, there's different types of programs. There's the Stargate program, which has a lot to do with creating super sidekicks and telepaths. There's program Omega, which has a lot to do with integrating humans with technology. And within the ranks of the Dark Fleets and the ICC, you could say that their super soldiers are cyborgs. And then, of course, there is the O-Tree program EVs. I mean, there's just so many programs. I think they have now they have 10 types or 10 prototypes of super soldiers that they've been developing since the 1950s. And what they normally do is they enhance your genetics to about 10 to 15%, depending on which program you're serving. In my case, I was serving within the ranks of the Ashtar, working with Radiant Guardians. So I was able to use up to 65 to 70%, which allowed me to harness abilities similar to the latest movie, Black Adam. It was just amazing. Your body becomes indestructible. But then again, we were sent off to other universes to help in the AI work. And so that was like an off-universe program. But to answer your question, we serve for 20 years, and then we come back. Well, how they do it is they age regress you. In some cases, they clone you, and they extract your soul or your consciousness from your current body that is older, and they bring you back to a younger state, similar to when they took you. So yeah, so that's how they do it. And in some cases, like in my case, they didn't clone me. They would just use a type of celestial chamber to regenerate me and age regress me in my physical form without cloning me. So there's different ways of doing it. And I believe that everybody has served 3. Those that have served within these programs have only served 3 off-world missions, and that's it. Good luck. Go ahead.
About Antarctica, is there another world beyond Antarctica? And is there a connection with inner world
Yes.
with outer world governments before?
There are many worlds beyond the ice wall of Antarctica, within the Earth, and then believe it or not, guys, there's also advanced civilizations within the ocean.
Yeah.
And the latest movie just revealed that. The Wakandans Forever. Yes, there are a few civilizations that are 600 to 700 years ahead of us, and that these people have the technology to genetically mutate to the point where they're able to live and breathe in water as well. So they're a type of fish man, fish woman. I guess that's where we get the concepts of mermen and mermaids, right? But these civilizations do exist, guys. Yes, they do. So there's, okay, just to let you guys, give you guys a quick understanding of how many civilizations exist just on our planet alone. Okay, so we have the surface dwellers. That's us, right? We're called the stinky surface dwellers. So we also have the Shabalians. We also have the Agarthians. We also have the Ansharians. We also have the Tahitians. And then we also have the 3 other, I don't know their exact name, but I do know, based on my slight memories of programs, that we are working with 3 other aquatic races that have developed advanced civilizations within our ocean, guys. Within our oceans. And yeah, I forget their names. So there's a total of about 9 or 10 civilizations that are coexisting with us, and we have no clue. We think we're the only ones on Earth. And yes, to answer your question, the governments of this world have always known about these other civilizations through their secret societies. And that is one of the greatest secrets that these elites have been hiding for centuries, is their connections to these other civilizations as well. Through their secret. That's why secret societies exist. And that's why they're called secret societies, because they have a lot of secrets. And now we're living in a time where all these secrets are, they're coming out. There could no longer be secrets. So we are running out of time. I'll take maybe 2 more questions, and we'll be done. Go ahead, Philip.
Do you have any recent downloads that you can tell us, which that you can disclose? Have you had any recent downloads?
The most, I guess, the last of my downloads is that I keep seeing the solar flash taking place, like very soon. Again, they're not giving me a date, but like I said, for those that have terminal illnesses, just hang on a little longer. Don't give up. Those cosmic celestial chambers, the med beds, long-term regenerators are just around the world. But yeah, that's what I've been getting. It's just Ishmael. The change is here. The ascension is here. The transition is here. Last question.
I kind of have a couple questions, if that's okay, but as far as the solar flash is concerned, they talk about separating the new Earth, and you talk about the solar flash and something's going to be happening internally. Is that with everyone, or only people who are kind of ready for it at a certain frequency? Will there be a separation into Earth and other people left behind, or how's that going?
Well, it is going to start with a few individuals, and then it's like a domino effect. It's just going to people are just going to be collapsing through the polarity duality. Their chakras are going to turn into that white singular light. In other words, their multidimensionality is going to all kind of integrate. And then when that happens, that's when the sun is going to be releasing its final release for everyone else to undergo the transformation. And then there's going to be different levels of upgrade, of course. Not everybody's going to have the same abilities. The oldest of souls are going to be the most powerful ones. And that's just because they have that spiritual nature to use their abilities in the right way and be responsible.
And my second question is just about when we enter the Earth and our memories are essentially the AI, or is that just part of because we don't remember?
When we
4% of our when our memories
you mean that when we become human as to our memories are white? That serves a dualistic purpose. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Earth is the hardest. This density, third dimension, is the hardest to experience, and so the reason we don't have any memory is because it's part of the growth. It's part of us, rediscovering who we were before we came to this Earth. Does that make sense? So it's part of that challenge that was given to us so that we could remember. So it has a dual purpose. And yes, of course, according to the dark side, they did create some sort of like reincarnational loop using Saturn, the moon, and the black box to kind of keep our souls trapped in the third dimension. So it serves two purposes. But that has already been neutralized. The moon Saturn matrix has already been neutralized by the first side. So we're no longer in the one final question.
I just want you to expand a little bit about special needs kids as far as their soul coming down to earth, like the purpose, and what's the,
All right, so I guess the truth about autism is that they are a gift to the earth. That's why there's a spectrum. Those that are low functioning are already operating in different dimensions, and that explains why it's very hard for them to kind of conduct themselves here in the third dimension. So to us, they may seem like they're not all there, but in actuality, they're already tuned there. They're already tuned into the other dimensions. They have more connection to source than we do. So I guess I could say it that way. They're already in tune with these higher dimensions. And then, of course, you have those that are Asperger's. Those are like in between, as they're very in tune with these higher dimensions, but at the same time, they're also capable of, conducting themselves in the third dimension. So autism is a gift to the earth. It's not a vaccination. So those are going to be in the future. The autistic kids are going to be the most powerful. When this shift takes place, that's when they're going to be able to, in a way, act as guides and directors for the rest of us. So right now we see them as, well, not us. Conventional society sees them as an abnormality, but really it's the opposite of that. They have so many gifts. Yeah. Sure. I honestly, I have experienced this type of energy when I would go into a deep meditation, and I just felt myself like a current of energy. I ceased to be physical. I didn't feel my body anymore. I just felt like I was a current of energy. And so that's exactly what I'm feeling. I'm just buzzing right now. Due to the scalar vibration.
Quick question about Mars.
Yeah.
2018. There was a big fight on Mars, battle on Mars.
There was, yeah. Well, I mean, all the way up until like I would say the end of 2018, there was huge wars taking place just within our solar system.
When my mother was passed from cancer, she talked a lot about Mars. She also said she was going to Mars. So I was just confirming it about 2018.
That was actually the final battle. That's when the Earth Alliance, Earth Solar Boarded, and Radiant Guardians were, I guess, equipped enough to kind of kick out the Dark Fleet, or at least, pin them down, and also neutralize the activities of the interdimensional corporate threat. That's when everything shifted over to the Alliance in our solar system. A lot of these advanced super soldiers are getting memories back. Thousands.
Quick question.
Last question.
So when we transition, right? When we're doing the transition, what level of where is it? Where is it that we go? I know I feel trapped. We're talking about that right now. Like we're kind of recycling over and over, right? But like our loved ones, where are they? Where do they? Yeah. Where do we go after we transition? Is there a place where it's just
in the fifth dimension? When we transition, they're going to already be there in their younger state of course.
So between burying and let's say cremating, what would be a better option for the avatar?
Do not cremate.
Oh, shoot.
But it will make a difference because your fifth dimensional avatar is made out of crystalline substances. So even if you cremate your carbon-based avatar, you'll still be able to, come into your fifth dimensional avatar.
So the body is very important as far as.
Well, there's a reason why the ancient Egyptians used to mummify and keep their bodies.
Right. Sorry, Dad.
All right, I guess we're done.
All right, thank you so much. What did you want?
One thing I listened to you saying something about Elon Musk. It's a little bit about this.
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không còn mơ em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá cho bên mơ em không mơ anh. Anh một đêm mơ chỉ cần bên em không được còn nhớ và chỉ có em không còn nhớ và người ta bên nhau như là tớ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mơ mày. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu không em như mà ngân màu. Anh như đang mong cầu và mưa bên em u sầu. Chắc có mà mai em mơ chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ. Mà đang dài em một bên ai anh không mong gì hơn chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần. Anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau mà đừng em đâu anh có em một đêm bên anh có em. Ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu ôm anh cứ mưa bằng ngâu và em chỉ nằm đâu. Anh không muốn em ở đâu đâu một cơn nắng thứ anh không mơ cầu mà gặp đôi anh mà bên nhà anh chỉ là my friend. Em quên đi bao lời hứa quên đi cả những ngày xưa. Anh như là muốn nhớ em cứ một chưa mà đừng ở đêm ở đêm anh nhìn một đôi bằng kem không như là ba trên thêm cho em nhiều hơn như là kem. Chỉ cần là mưa thôi em chỉ cần là mưa thôi còn ai sẽ là nắng rồi.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Like nothing I found, my mind overwhelms. I think that I'm broken, but I hope you can